on question 25, we want to do factor by grouping. So I'm going to look at my first two terms, and I can factor out a 2, which will leave me with x cubed minus 5. And then if I look at my second 2, I can factor out an x, and that will leave me with a 4x minus 5. Now, this is not good because these do not match. So usually they do match. When they don't, we actually need to start over the question and rearrange it and try again. And usually one of the tricks that works is if you put it in descending order. That can sometimes help. Meaning I want the x cubed term first, then the x squared term, then the x term, then the constant. So let's try rewriting it as 2x cubed plus 4x squared minus 5x and then minus 10. So if I restart the question and take the GCF out of the first two, I can take a 2x squared out, which will leave me with just an x, and then that will leave me with a plus 2. And then out of the second two terms, I want to take out a negative 5, which will leave me with an x, and then negative 10 divided by negative 5 is plus 2. So they do match now. I have an x plus 2 and an x plus 2. So that's good. The x plus 2 becomes one of our factors, and then the stuff that's not in parentheses, meaning the 2x squared and the minus 5, these ones, those combine to be our second factor. And that'll be our answer. Let's look at 26. If I factor out an x out of the first two, that leaves me with a c minus d. If I look at the second two, well, I can factor out a y, but I'm going to have a d minus c, and I want a c minus d. So I can already tell that this is not going to work. However, we are pretty close to our answer, because if I just flip these two terms around and leave these two the same, then I should be able to get that c minus d. So let's do that. So I'm going to start over. I'm going to rearrange the question as minus cy and plus dy. So I'm just changing those last two terms around. And now let's try factor by grouping again. So if I take out an x, this leaves me with a c minus d, just like it did before. And I want to take out a y. I also want to take out a negative because I have this negative sign here. So let's take out a negative y, and that will leave me with a positive c and then a negative d. So then the c minus d's match. So c minus d, whatever's in parentheses, becomes one of your factors. Whatever's outside your parenthesis becomes the other factor. And that'll be your answer.